What could pension reform mean for state workers and for taxpayers? I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Pennsylvania State Representative Chris Ross. Thanks for being with us.
Glad to be here, Jill.
You've introduced a bill, House Bill 1350, really three different components when we talk about potential changes to the pension system. Just quickly tell us about those.
Well, basically there are three parts to it. One for very short term, where we're holding down some of the costs for the next couple of years. Then working with the existing pension obligations that we have to make sure we meet those, but bring down some of the costs for the existing employees in future years. And then finally, for new hires that are hired after 2015, shifting from a defined benefit program to a defined contribution program to stabilize future costs for the Commonwealth in the out years.
And let's focus on that third component of this legislation and of pension changes overall. Moving from a defined benefit to defined contribution, really what people might see in the private sector, more of a 401k type of system. There have been concerns about this from current state workers and other entities that this could actually increase costs for taxpayers because you're having a pension system in place for current employees, retirees, but then creating this new system for future hires.
Yeah, and I think there's an awful lot of misunderstanding about the defined contribution plan and what effects it really would have if we introduce it. First of all, both the teachers and the state employee funds have a variety of funds in them right now, and a variety of different classes of workers that have different calculations. So really the idea of having a new class of workers that would be under a defined contribution plan is not a huge stretch for them. And secondly, the management and operation is already available. It's just essentially adding a new class. So I don't think the administrative costs are going to be substantial, but the savings will be substantial for the taxpayers over a longer period of time, because the state will consistently contribute 4%, and then the employee will contribute their 7.5% or whatever the correct number is, that depending on the individual class of worker. And that will be stable over a period of time. So the taxpayers are going to know how much they have to contribute, simply calculating it against the total number of employees that we have and their salaries.
There's also been concern that this could reduce the amount of dollars actually available for current employees for pension plans. Talk to us about that concern.
Well, there's a fundamental misunderstanding underlying that. People, I think, are thinking of the Social Security plan, where we never actually adequately funded and held the monies aside for our existing workers. They always had the current workers paying for the current retirees. That's not how the pension system works in Pennsylvania or any properly funded pension system. In that case, the dollars that the employee contributes are set aside for them effectively and can be withdrawn when that employee retires upon their retirement, along with an interest that's been accrued for it, a set rate of interest. So those dollars that the new employees are having will again be put aside in their plan separately. So we have an outstanding obligation of something like $47 billion to existing employees that we have to make up because of losses in the market and a variety of other things. We have to do that no matter what. We're trying to control future costs so that we can manage this more effectively. Right now, the contribution rate from the state is ranged from 0, and we expect it to be up to 30%. That's a huge swing. If we can set it at a consistent 4%, we can provide good pensions but not bust the budget.
Just part of the conversation that's happening as it relates to changes to the pension system.
Exactly.
Thank you. We've been talking with Pennsylvania State Representative Chris Ross. I'm Jill Horner.